All right, so here is the original problem. This person, and I have been asked, I've never been asked this level of complexity, but I've been asked this before. Is there a way to shuffle surveys? Now, Michael demonstrated last week or the week before randomizing questions in a survey, but this is actually randomizing surveys themselves. Now, this person wanted an added level of complexity that I didn't know whether it could be done or not, and that is she assigned blocks. She wanted to randomize within blocks of survey questions, surveys themselves. So she'd have a list of surveys that she wanted to ask in a random order, and then progress on to the next group of survey questions and have them asked in a random order, etc. So the design looked like this, and you can see there's a number of surveys involved, but she wanted to take, break these up into sections. I don't know if the topic was the same for all these. It doesn't matter. The fact is they are in a block in her mind. So there is a module, and this just came out very recently, and this is called where am I? Well, maybe it's called Survey Shuffle. Okay, so the documentation is not great, but it's not terrible. It's a little bit easier to figure out when you look at it. And as far as the configuration goes, if you've used external modules before, you'll see something that looks very similar and to external modules that you may have used in other projects, other modules. So what I want to do here is I want to see the designer because I want to see the project. So she wants to start out with the record ID and participant ID, and she wants to go down, and the last one of this particular block is inclusion. So she's going to come in here and she's going to, and this is, I remember, can't remember if this is longitudinal or not. No, it's not perfect. In fact, yeah, I didn't want it to be for demonstration purposes. So not longitudinal. What I want to point out here is this sequence configuration. This is what's key. So for the first one, I'm going to start with the record ID and participant ID. Oh, and this is still set up. I just needed to add it. So these are the instruments. If you look here in the design, if you look here all the way down, you'll see that all I did was add these, and you add them one at a time. So if I wanted to add another one, I'd just use the plus sign. And I keep building this until I have my block. Then I say how many instruments I want to display. Now, it asks you an entry survey and an exit survey. These two are not part of the total of instruments to display. You're only counting these two. The exit survey and the entry survey will be shown by default because of, they need to be set up like this. There is the only thing I'm a little bit hinky about is this field to be used to store survey sequence. I'm guessing that you could put this on different blocks of your instruments. For this, this randomization order is what we used for the field to be used to store this sequence. Anyway, so we have this, we have it all set up, and if it were to work right, it should ask all of these questions and then stop. But you can add a second sequence configuration for a second block, which I did. And I just put in a few just to test. Again, so I started with the entry survey is the one that I left here. I added the next three in the block, indicated that there were 3 surveys to display, and we were ending on this physical intimacy questions. And I didn't even use what to store on. So having set all this up, I'll come back and let's just go to the survey distribution tools and open this, because this is set up as a survey. This is all set. Oh, yeah, one last thing I wanted to point out, just in case there were any questions in the design. There is no automatically going to another survey. You would not want this. You would want this to act sort of as a survey queue, but instead of one after another appearing based on the order that you have set up, you want it to be randomized. So first question shows up. So you give him some ID number, and we'll just put in random order 1. Okay, so this it'd be helpful if I knew this well enough to know which this came off of, but you're going to have to trust me. It'd be maybe I should have a total or a header up here, but it has to do with relationships. So I think it's this third one, the R scale. Let's just take a look. Yeah. Okay, so this is randomly opened one. I could go through and do this or not, and then submit. Then it's going to take me somewhere else. Partner who came to you with a study today. Could be couple satisfaction. I don't know. Anyway, let's just walk through this, and I'll just submit these things. And ultimately, if I would have counted, it's going to get to.
That's number 6, I think.
Okay. Oh, this is the last one. I'm sorry. So I knew this was the last one. I should. So this is the last one in the survey, in the block. So when I say this and submit it, now it goes to the next block. If I would have not set up another block, it would have stopped right there. So if you wanted to randomize all your surveys, I am unsure 100% if there is a module just to shuffle surveys, all of them without this level of detail. But for this, and then once you finish it, you'll see, you know, I think there's maybe a total of 5. Start and yeah, so this is the last one, and it's pointing that out. Apparently she has save and return later. I don't know why, but this is ending that, and it's ended even though there's a bunch of others because of the external module that is shuffling these things. So I just think this will be extremely helpful for those of you who have a need to shuffle surveys. I don't know the particulars of why you do or not, but anyway, lot of flexibility, and you can, again, you can have multiple configurations too based on these sequences. So there you go.
So it's not discoverable right now for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
I
Let me
tried
check.
it, and
Let
it's
me
not.
check. All right, don't before you call me on it. Let me just check. Well, you're right. Okay, small format non-admins. Okay, so as long as you have project design permission, you can set this up and you'll be able to see it. Thanks for bringing that up, Carol.